into the cup. I see the way your eyes have lost their fire, and how the road has taken something higher than you thought you'd ever have to pay for being who you are from day to day. But I have seen you at your absolute most brilliant and most beautifully acute, and I refuse to watch you disappear into the gray of someone else's fear. I refuse to let the story end this way, with everything you are just fading gray. Rise with me tonight, above the doubt and all the pain tonight, and let the stars know your name. You were built for more than this, more than breaking in the dark. And show the world the fire in your heart, the fire in your heart. I know the nights have been your enemy. I know the mirror's been unkind to see. I know you've talked yourself into the ground until the silence was the only sound. But silence is a liar wearing truth, and tired is not permanent, it's just a bruise. And every single person who became someone extraordinary felt this same. You think the world has moved beyond your reach. You think the things you want are past the breach. But I am standing here with both hands out, ready to be proven wrong about your doubt. Rise with me tonight. Don't let the darkness win the war. That's what the darkness is there for, to make the rising sweeter, to make the light more real. And let me show you how it feels to be alive, to actually feel I have been where you are standing. I have stood at this exact edge and looked out over all that nothing, and felt the pull beyond the ledge. And what brought me back was someone standing close enough to say, you are not finished, you are not done, you are not the worst of what today has made you feel. You are the sum of every beautiful intention, every brave and broken try, every morning that you made it through. You have no idea how strong you are. You have no idea how see the way your eyes have lost their fire, and how the road has taken something higher than you thought you'd ever have to pay for being who you are from day to day. But I have seen you at your absolute most brilliant and most beautifully acute, and I refuse to watch you disappear into the gray of someone else's fear. I refuse to let the story end this way, with everything you are just fading gray. Rise with me tonight. The clock says 2, but my body says forever. The ceiling has become my closest friend tonight. I've turned the pillow 17 times over, and none of them have made the wanting right. The rain is at the window like a messenger, tapping out a code I almost understand. And all the code is saying is your name again, in every drop that hits the glass and runs. I've been here before in other midnights. I've been restless for 100 different reasons, but this particular restless has your fingerprints on every thought, and nothing in my arsenal of sleep has worked against it. Rain against the glass is the sound of wanting you. Rain against the glass is every midnight truth. Every thought I think at 2 a.m. has your name somewhere inside it. Rain against the glass is the only voice I trust when it comes to you. When it comes to you, it always comes to you. I've had this conversation with myself before, the one where I decide that I should say what I have been collecting in the quiet for the longest and most restless nights away. But morning always makes it seem excessive. Morning makes the wanting look like weakness. against my window, against the cold November glass. Would you know it was for you? Would you turn over in your sleep and somehow in the quiet know that someone in the city, in a dark apartment, in the second hour after midnight, is completely and without apology awake because of you, because of the way you laughed last Tuesday, because of the way you said my name like it was something you enjoyed the shape of in your mouth, because of 1,000 ordinary reasons that add up to one extraordinary, unbearable, beautiful thing. Rain against the glass, I am done pretending this is sleep. Rain against the glass, this is the vigil that I keep for every feeling I've been careful with, for every word I swallow. Rain against the glass, it's every night I've spent with nothing but your name between me and the dark, between me and the morning, between me and the ordinary life. I live without you, without you, without you. Rain against the glass. Tonight is saying everything, everything I should have said to you. The clock says 2, but my body says forever. The ceiling has become my closest friend tonight. I've turned the pillow 17 times over, and none of them have made the wanting right. We met in the shadow of a Sunday afternoon. You were light through colored glass, and I was smoke-filled room. Two things that don't belong together, everyone could see. But belonging never stopped you reaching out for me. Your hands were clean and mine was stained with every road I'd run. You believed in something holy, I believed in none. But somehow in the middle of our broken difference, we built something that I'd swear to before any witness. I've been in cathedrals and I've been in gutters. I've seen the best of man reduced to mumbles and shudders, but nothing I have witnessed in this long and ragged life moved me like the morning you decided to be mine. Smoke and stained glass, were something that the careful world can't understand. The fire and the water and the sea becoming land. You taught me how to sit still in the early morning light. I taught you that the darkness has its own kind of right. And somewhere in the teaching we forgot to be afraid of all the beautiful impossible we'd made. I've been running from the righteous and the righteous thing to do. Oh, nothing felt more righteous than the life I built with you. So call it what you want to, call it foolish, call it strange. I call it the one miracle that didn't need explaining. Smoke and stained glass, that's what we were. Smoke and stained glass, and the wild just blurred. The holy and the broken finding common ground. Smoke and stained glass, the most beautiful sound of two lives colliding on sacred and sky. Smoke and stained glass, two worlds, one heart. When you left they said, I told you so. The smoke and glass don't mix, they said, you know. But I've seen smoke rise up to heaven every dawn, and I've seen glass hold light when everything is gone. So don't tell me that we were wrong. Don't tell me that we never should have been. The most beautiful things in this world are the ones that should never have happened, but did. Smoke and stained glass, that's still what we are. Smoke and stained glass, near and broken far. The holy found the broken, and the broken found the grace. Smoke and stained glass, the most sacred place was every single moment that you called me yours. Smoke and stained glass, eternal and pure. Eternal and pure. Sacred, sacred. Every broken, beautiful thing was us. I threw my bags into the trunk at dawn, left the key beneath the mat and moved along. Didn't say a word to anyone I knew, just pointed at the highway and drove through. The radio kept finding songs that stung, all the good ones from when we were young. So I turned it off and let the engine speak, the only honest voice I've had all The open road can't outrun what's buried deep. I've been driving since the morning, still no closer to the version of myself from before you. Miles of empty road, and I still feel the weight. Miles of empty road, but I can't outrun fate. Every white line passing, every small town crossed, still miles of empty road and everything I lost. Stopped at some motel in Tennessee, paid cash and didn't give my real name free. Sat beside the window in the dark, listening to the highway in my heart. The trucker in the next room had his TV on, something about a love that had gone wrong. I almost knocked to tell him that I understood, that some things sound better understood. But strangers don't need strangers and their grief. Broken men don't always find relief in talking. Sometimes silence is the only road that bears the full and terrible weight of a load. Miles of empty road, just the engine and the night. Miles of empty road, no destination right. Every exit number, every county line, still miles of empty road, still yours, still mine. Somewhere past the Georgia line, the sky turned pink and golden fine. And for one honest moment in that light, everything felt bearable and right. I pulled over at the shoulder of the world, watched the sun come up slow and unfurl. And I thought maybe distance isn't the answer, but standing still was killing me back there. So I'll drive until the driving teaches something, until the road runs out of road to give. Because motion is the only kind of prayer that a man like me knows how to live. Miles of empty road, but I'm still moving through. Miles of empty road, still Catch myself saying it out loud again in the middle of a sentence, in the middle of the rain. It comes up uninvited, like a song I never learned, but somehow know the words to every time it returns. 3 syllables that change the shape of everything I am, a name that turned an ordinary man into someone who would drive through the night just to stand outside a window in the half-light. They say a name is just a sound the air makes. They say it carries nothing on its own, but they've never had a name become a heartbeat. They've never had a name become a home. The weight of your name is all I carry now. The weight of your name, I don't know how. A word so small can feel this much of me. The weight of your name is all I'll ever need and all I'll ever grieve. I wrote it in the margin of a novel once, then read the same page 17 times at once, just to see it there beside the printed words, as if it somehow made it more real, more hurt. I scratched it from the wood grain of the kitchen floor the night you said this wasn't working anymore. And all I kept repeating as you walked out through the door was just your name, just your name, nothing more. Some men pray to something they can't see or touch. Some men find their altar in a bottle or a crutch. I found mine in 4 letters in the space between the most beautiful and devastating thing. The weight of your name bends me to the ground. The weight of your name is the only sound that ever made the silence feel like something whole. The weight of your name is written on my soul. It's written on my I tried replacing it with distance and with time, with strangers and with cities and with wine. But at the bottom of each glass, at the end of every road, there it is again, your name, impossible to let go. Say it once and it becomes a revelation. Say it twice and it becomes a prayer. Say it every night for all the years I've carried it. Daytime's fine, I'm managing the light. I do my work, I answer when they ask if I'm alright. I laugh at all the right moments, I say the proper things. I've gotten very good at wearing ordinary skin. But when the sun goes under and the dark rolls in, that's when all the honest parts of me begin to surface like a wreck. The daylight hides the things I keep below the waterline, and all the memories I thought that I'd forgotten come back so clear, so whole, so sharp, so honest. The way you slept, the way you said my name at night, the way the dark remembers everything. The day pretends it's fine, what the dark remembers, the daylight never shows. What the dark remembers, only the lonely knows. Every tender moment, every whispered word, what the dark remembers hits the hardest. What the dark remembers cuts the deepest. What the dark remembers, you. Oh! I've rearranged the furniture, the room, moved everything so nothing holds the shape of you. But darkness doesn't care about furniture. Darkness puts you right back where you were. 3 in the morning and I'm wide awake with every conversation that we used to make. The arguments that didn't need to happen, the apologies that came too late or never came. And I replay the moments I got wrong. I replay the moments where I wasn't strong, where I should have stayed and I walked out, where I should have spoken but I gave you down. What the dark remembers, the daylight never shows. What the dark remembers, only the lonely knows. Every foolish moment, every door I slammed, what the dark remembers won't be silenced. What the dark remembers won't be reasoned. What the dark remembers dance. I've heard that time rewrites the painful parts, that memory grows merciful with years. But my memory's a courtroom in the dark that replays every scene in vivid tears. I'm not asking for a pardon, I'm not asking to forget. I'm just asking for one morning where the night lets me reset. One sunrise without your face, one dawn without your name, one ordinary Tuesday that doesn't end the same. most honest sound, the realest thing around. What the dark remembers is what love feels like when it's real, when it's real, when it's real, real, still real. What the dark remembers is you. Everyone around me said to walk away, that you were all the colors of a stormy day, that loving you was standing at the edge of something high, and looking down and choosing not to ask the reason why. But I have always had a weakness for the beautiful and dark, for the kind of love that leaves a lasting mark, for the kind of fire that burns your hand if you reach in. And I have always been the kind to reach, so I begin. They showed me all the evidence, the pattern and the proof. They laid it out so clearly on the table. They said, here is your truth. And I looked at all the reasons to be careful and afraid, and I looked at you across the room, and all the reasons faded. You are the beautiful, dangerous, everything I shouldn't want. You are the beautiful, dangerous, and I am already lost. Every warning has been given, every sign has been displayed. You are the beautiful, dangerous, and I love you, more afraid than I have ever been, more alive than I have been. You are the beautiful, dangerous, and I choose you anyway. I've seen the way you shift when something in you breaks, the way the storm inside you gathers and it takes everything around you in its unpredictable wide path. And I've seen the aftermath, but I have also seen the quiet after every storm, when you are soft and sorry and impossibly warm, when you look at me like I am the only stable thing, and I would face 1,000 storms for what that morning brings. Maybe I'm the fool that every burns with all the colors that the careful stars don't have. And I would rather have this burning for whatever time it lasts than the long grey life of someone who was always too afraid to ask what it felt like to love something that could love them back so completely, so dangerously, so absolutely, so beautifully, without a standing at the edge of something high, looking down, choosing not to ask the reason why. But I've always had a weakness for the beautiful and dark, for the kind of love that leaves a lasting mark. Signs are bleeding in the rain tonight. Your silhouette is all I need to make this right. I've watched you from across this darkened room all week, a dangerous and beautiful kind of mystique. The cigarette smoke curls up to the ceiling slow, and everything about this night says don't let of the careful life I built with care. But reason doesn't live when you are standing there. There's a storm that's been gathering since you walked through that door. There's a pull that I've never in my life felt before, and the rain on the window keeps the time like a warning that some nights don't survive until the shadows in neon, that's where we live tonight. Shadows in neon, between the wrong and right, the city lights vision woke, some fire underneath the careful life I spoke about in daylight, reasonable and measured and safe. But safety is a country I have left for this place. Your voice was low and slow and filled with something real, the kind of voice that makes a man admit to feel. And I leaned in across the table in the dark and let you read the whole unguarded map of my heart. Outside, the city drowns in its own beautiful rain, and we are in this amber light suspended in the flame of something that we both know has no easy ending. But endings never stopped a heart from loving or from bending. Shadows and neon, that's all we need tonight. Shadows and neon, to make the darkness right. The city keeps on weeping, but we don't mind the cost. In the shadows and neon, I found what I had lost. In you, all of it. In you. Maybe this is reckless, maybe this is wrong. Maybe all the careful people were careful all along, for a reason I can't see from where I'm standing now. With your hands around my reason and your eyes around my vow, to be the man who didn't burn, who didn't reach too far. But burning feels like living, and you're every star that I told myself was too far up to touch, that I told myself was wanting far too much. I was wrong, I was so wrong about how much a man can wanna shadows and neon, shadows and neon, shadows and neon, shadows and neon, will always be our place. Shadows and neon, your rain-wet, beautiful face. The city can't keep weeping, the morning comes for all. But in the shadows and neon, I gave you everything. My rise, my fall, my everything, my all. Shadows, neon, still yours, still burning in the dark. We sit across the table every morning and pass the sugar without touching hands. We've learned to move around each other's silence, the way that water moves around the sand. We still say goodnight, we still say good morning, we still perform the rituals of care. But something in the inches between our bodies has grown into a distance hard to bear. Same air feels like first. The spaces between us used to be filled with love. The spaces between us were never wide enough. Now they stretch like oceans across a bed we share. The spaces between us are the only thing still there. The only thing still there. You laugh at something on the television, I turn to share it, but the moment's gone. By the time I find the words to say it, the show has moved and so have we moved on. I saw you crying in the kitchen once. You stopped when you heard me on the stair, and I pretended that I seen it. We've gotten very good at not being there. I don't know when we learn to be so careful, so precise about the borders of our pain. But careful isn't love, and precise isn't living. And I'd rather have the chaos back again. The spaces between us were not always this wide. The spaces between us were where we used to hide from everything that frightened us. We'd find each other there. Now the spaces between us nothing but air. Say something, anything, the way you used to just start talking in the dark. Tell me what you're thinking, tell me what you're missing, tell me if you feel it too. This quiet falling apart, because I would rather break this open raw and bleeding on the floor than spare one more careful measured morning, passing sugar, saying nothing anymore. The spaces between us are still small enough to cross, still close enough to reach, still ours, still ours, still ours. Come back to me. Come back to me. Still ours, still ours. Just reach. Just reach. It wasn't a storm, it wasn't a fight, it wasn't the slamming of a door at night. It was quieter than that, more final somehow, like the last light leaving a room, and I didn't know how to name what I was watching as it slowly went away. How a love that filled the years could just dissolve inside a day, without a word, without a warning shot, without a trace, just the last light leaving and the dark taking its place. I've seen sunsets that I thought would never end. I've seen the longest summers finally bend into autumn without asking for permission. That's the way it went, without a word, without a vision. When the last light leaves, you don't hear it go. When the last light leaves, you just start to know that the room is different, that the warmth has changed. When the last light leaves, nothing stays the same. Nothing stays the same. I looked across the table and I saw it there, in the way you held your coffee, in the way you didn't care to look up when I entered, didn't notice when I left. Just two people in a house, running low on breath. And I wanted to reach over, shake the table, make some noise, say, remember when this kitchen had a different kind of voice. But the man I've become knows better than to beg the light to stay, when the light has made its choice to go away. So I sat there in the half-dark, watching daylight die. Didn't reach across the table, didn't ask you why. Some endings are too honest to be dressed in drama's clothes. Some endings just wear silence and the closing of a door. When the last light leaves, you don't feel the cold. When the feels as sure as the darkness that comes after. What was pure? I sat there until midnight. I sat there until the street went quiet too. I sat there in the dark of what we'd been and what we'd become, and I understood that some things don't end loudly, some things just exhale like a candle that burns faithful to the very end of its wick and simply stops. And the room isn't angry, and the room isn't sad. It's just a room now, just walls, just air, the way it was before. We filled it with everything we had. Everything was always gonna be okay, gonna be okay. Even now, even this way, even in the dark of what we couldn't say. When the last light leaves, you learn to love the dark.